All right, cheers.
Cheers.
They don't know about the Kumbaya meetings we had this week.
Behind. Good look. Three.
You just put yourself on the map. They didn't look into your heart. They didn't look into your heart. They didn't look into my heart.
All I want to do is compete.
Without Jerry McNamara, we wouldn't have won 10 fucking games this year.
Because they came to whose house? But doggone it, ain't it good to be winners again in the ACC?
Hey, welcome back to Cuse Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Stacy.
And before we get into what we're drinking, babe, why don't you tell us what we're drinking out of?
All right, so today we are drinking out of Hillbilly wine glasses.
Hillbilly.
Yeah, buddy.
We were graciously gifted 2 Hillbilly wine glasses, perfectly mounted with orange solo cups by Donna and Jim Armstrong. And conveniently enough, we are also drinking a beer that they also gifted us. I've mentioned it before. Andrew's from Youngstown, Ohio.
Right.
His parents, we've been fortunate enough to become friends with, and they brought us Penguin City beer. It's their official beer of Youngstown, Ohio. It's just a regular ale, but it's
Pretty
perfect
good.
and it's delightful. And it was brought to us by the lovely Donna and Jim and Sydney, of course, Armstrong. And so we thank you for that. That is what we are drinking.
Thank you, and cheers again.
Cheers to you guys. And it just tastes better out of this, I think.
Well, it tastes better because somebody else bought it.
That too.
Everything tastes better when
these are
somebody
glorious.
else bought it. It
Aren't
is
these glorious?
Yeah, they're going to go well down here in the Cuse Cave to drink out of.
Yeah.
So here we are. We are a little bit late.
Yeah.
Sunday turned out to be not as productive as we had originally hoped
We
for.
needed a full day of recovery.
Yeah, we put a lot into Saturday. We put a lot into it, and our bodies we were fatigued.
Yeah.
So here we are on Monday evening. By the time you guys see this uploaded, it'll probably be
I imagine
Tuesday
it'll be
morning.
Tuesday.
But we're going to talk about the game.
Yeah.
And for those of you that were there,
Thank you.
thank you. There wasn't an entirely ton of us there, but for those of you who were there,
It doesn't matter how many. Well, I mean, of course, we always want it packed, but the noise and the atmosphere
It was loud.
matter more than the amount of people, and
it was loud.
Yeah, it was very loud.
save for the student section. For those of you who watched our post-game show with Tony,
We need to get them pepped up a little bit. It was a noon game. Maybe they went out and had a couple drinks on Friday. I don't
they
know,
get
but
no passes
no,
from
right,
Chris.
no passes.
You get no passes from Chris.
When a group of the median age probably 45
Yeah.
can out hype you. Come on,
And
step it up.
I was on my feet
Mm-hmm.
and rah-rah the whole game and started at, goodness gracious, we got to Skytop at 7:15, 7:30. Me, you, and Joe got up there early, so no passes for me in the student section.
Okay.
I expect better, and I will demand better, and 327 is going to throw out a challenge at Holy Cross. We're going to make more noise in the student section.
Yeah.
I promise.
It doesn't matter if there's 5 of us or 55 of us.
I don't care. So, students, this is for you. Bring your A game to Holy Cross. It's a noon game. It's Fan Fest.
Yeah.
There's going to be a good number of people. 327 in the opposite corner from you up top. We're going to show you how it's done. We're going to show you. But enough of that.
All right.
Because you know what? The people that were there were amazing.
They were.
And we had a great time.
You know who else was amazing?
Who was amazing?
Those lovely pumpkin pies on the field.
Yeah, the team played really, really well.
They did.
Team played really well. A lot of accolades this week.
Yeah.
For players.
Yeah.
So, what do you got for us? Tell me about what you have for accolades. Things happened this week.
Right. So Tristan Jackson, was ACC Receiver of the Week.
As well he should have been.
As well he should have. We've seen him break out in all the games. We know what he is capable of.
Yep.
And we've seen bits and pieces, and he has made us proud every week. This week he really, really shined. We got to see that stud receiver that we knew was coming and that we've been kind of waiting for, and he broke out and he was amazing and very well deserved.
So we
receiver of the week.
knew all along that Tristan Jackson was a deep threat.
Right.
You know this. He is fast, and he has great hands, and he runs great routes. What we saw on Saturday was a Tristan Jackson who once caught a screen pass on a wide receiver bubble screen, and Sean Riley, who's all of 5'9", a $170. Actually, I think he might have put on weight in the offseason. We're going to call him 180 pounds and be nice. Threw a great block on the outside, on the corner.
And so
Sean.
It is so often forgotten that these skill position players, the running backs, the receivers, all of them, they are more than just hands on ball.
Yeah.
They are so important in the blocking for...
Oh, especially in this offense.
Yeah.
Especially coming back to, and I'm going to get to this later when we get to the hugs and kisses, but coming back to the plays that we've seen for 3 years now, those bubble screens, Sean threw some great blocks out there. And there was one specifically where Tristan caught it, came back on the outside, Sean threw a great block, and Tristan cut upfield. So he's not just the deep threat we knew he was.
Right.
One of his touchdowns, he caught a short pass, made a guy miss, hit the next guy with a stiff arm that his grandfather felt, and put him on the turf, and was gone, off to the races. And once he gets a step on you, you're not catching Tristan Jackson in the open field. So it was great to see more from him than just Dino saying, AT, run long. Mm-hmm. Like, it was great to see more of that from him because he's got an insane amount of talent. So, yeah, kudos to him for ACC Receiver of the Week.
Absolutely.
Much, much deserved.
Yeah, for sure.
Who else had big news this week?
So the next guy kind of had two things going on.
Okay.
So Sean Riley, who
threw a great block on a screen pass.
Who threw a great block, who we have grown to know and to love, and was all but not expected to do anything when he came up on the hill. I mean, this is his senior year, so we have certainly grown to love him. But he's, this just
under-recruited kid.
Under-recruited, right? He's tiny, but man, that kid's got feet, and we've known him to be this powerhouse and this threat in special teams, and then we've got to see him break out a little bit as receiver, a little bit last year, more so this year. But he received the Uplifting Athletes, which we all know that I adore and I love everything about Uplifting Athletes. So every week, Uplifting Athletes puts out all the teams that participate in it. Mm-hmm. So there's like 18 or 20 teams that participate with Uplifting Athletes. Every week they put out the scores and who won and who lost, and they kind of highlight a little bit about everything. They give a trophy out to a player. Well, this week they also gave a performance award, and the performance award went to Sean Riley. So he was the Uplifting Athletes. They call it the rare performance of the week, but not rare as in we didn't expect this performance rare because Uplifting Athletes is about the
right. And this
rare
specific
disease.
One is rare because he broke the Syracuse record for return yards.
Right, and that was
that's a rarity.
That was the second one that I was going to bring up during the Western Michigan game. He broke Kadri Ishmael the missiles record. So let me just make sure I have my numbers proper. So he has 107 returns for 2,299 yards.
Which is, I believe, 9 yards more than Kadri's right now.
Yeah,
but he's still got the rest of the season. He's still got 7 games left in a bowl game.
Right, and it's kind of like icing on the cake that he did it at the Western Michigan game. Do you know why?
I do, but I'm going to let you tell him.
Okay, so Sean Sr. graduated 54 graduated from Western Michigan, or went to Western Michigan for his
football.
For his collegiate career. Yeah. So he played at Western Michigan. So
Sean breaking it
during that game, playing his daddy's alma mater, was kind of neat. So I did kind of put a little out to Daddy Sean, and I put little blur is better than big blur, but whatever.
Shout out to 54. You're still a legend in my eyes, buddy.
Always a legend. But
always a legend in my eyes.
Sean Riley got 2 accolades.
To Sean.
Yeah, he got 2 accolades this week. Very well deserved. Very awesome. Very fantastic. I love watching his progression in the program and everything that he brings. And
hey, you know who watched the podcast last week?
Who?
Alton Robinson.
Yeah, duh. I'm not right. Okay, so obviously, like when I close my eyes at night, I know that maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm not here to say that these guys are watching it, but 2 weeks ago we call out B Ward, B Dubs, and then last week he changes the defense around. Then last week's podcast we don't necessarily call out, but we made a little mention of like
how Elton had 0 tackles and then 1 tackle the week before.
Then this week he comes all out.
We're back to the Elton we know who he is.
He had a sack and a half. He had 5 solo tackles. He had 6 total with an assist.
Picked a good game, too.
He picked a great game. There was a couple recruits, which I imagine probably every week there's recruits from some
NFL teams. Yeah, there's scouts there every week.
But the Bills recruits and the Bills were scouting and the Seahawks. And there was mention in one of the articles that I was reading after that on one, I think it was on the sack. No, it was on the forced fumble and the sack that is immediately after that play, you saw the scouts from the Bills and the Seahawks both pick up their pens and start writing that he's got the twitch, he's got that ability, that thing you can't teach.
Right, he's got a quick reaction to ball movement, and you don't see him jump off sides. So his quickness is literally hand in the dirt, eye on the ball moves, he moves, and his reaction time is excellent.
Yeah, it's a half a step quicker than everybody else.
And that's what gives him an edge as an edge pass rusher,
right?
To get that
He's got
corner.
Big mitts.
He does. And between him and Kendall out there, as this defense starts to find themselves, and people start coming back from injuries and things like that.
Yeah, once we get Bear back on that line,
it's gonna make a difference. It's gonna make a difference. And like, I love, Kenneth Ruff.
Oh my gosh,
the guys who come in, and they're in the years coming up are going to be even better than they are now. But McKinley Williams is, I believe this will be his 3rd year as a starter. And he's talented, and we miss Bear on the defensive line.
Yeah.
And that'll make a difference. It'll draw some of the double teams away. But Elton had a great game. He must have watched the podcast.
He must have.
He must have.
Yeah, he had a great game.
So at some point during this one, I'll figure out who needs to watch this week's. And I'll shoot him a tweet. Like, hey, we're making things happen over here.
Yeah.
You and I on the podcast.
No, all in all, we just looked like we gelled a little bit more. Every week we looked specific. Special teams never needs any help from this podcast, certainly, but special teams is always hands down fantastic. But yeah, every week you see a little gelling with the defense, you see a little gelling with the offense, with the line, whatever. But this week it just looked like everybody came out with this same. This is a team. We're going to do this for everybody. We're going to support everybody. Let's go out. Let's bend but don't break. Every team is going to get yards against us. Every team is going to score against us. That's okay. And we've never been a team really to blow people out of the water or shut teams down. It's okay for other teams to score. It's okay to bend. Just don't break.
And that's really a formula for Brian Ward's defense. And the Tampa 2 in general, is you give the underneath routes, you make the tackles, you try to avoid the big, huge plays. And, we've given up a few really big plays this year, but not as many as there have been in years past.
Right.
So I'm not as concerned about the defense as other people might be. And I will get into that a little bit more.
And our defense was
very
also
soon.
a little
Banged up.
I guess, for lack of better phrases, it was a little banged up this week. I mean, we started without Iffy.
It was more than a little banged up, yeah.
We started without Iffy. We started without Cisco.
Still don't have Bear, so that's 3 starters right off the bat. And Cordy goes out in the 3rd with a hit that sent both him and the receiver out for the rest of the game. And so the receiver didn't catch the ball, and it was coming right at us. It's really a good thing that he didn't.
Yeah, there would have
that collision would have been infinitely worse.
There would have been a stretcher if he would have caught.
If he caught the ball, it was bad. And had he still been mildly upright when he got hit, it would have been even worse. So thank stars that, he didn't catch that ball because that injury for both ways could have been worse.
Yeah.
So I guess we're waiting for the injury report and hoping he comes back.
Luckily, both players were able to stand up and walk out
Yes.
on their own, and that's always, at the end of the day, really what you want to see. You want to
Of
make sure
course.
that everybody walks off on their own. So yeah, we'll obviously wait to see what we hear and what happens with them. But yeah, that it definitely could have been a lot worse. But that happened right in front of us. That was a nasty.
That could have been bad.
hit.
That
Yeah.
could have been bad.
And it was all clean. There was nothing
Yeah,
wrong.
no,
It was just
and credit to Cordy is now we saw it before the hit actually happened.
Yeah.
Because when the quarterback rifled back because he was going to let that one go, I looked at you and I said, "Oh, this could be a pick."
Yeah.
Because Cordy had already made his break, and the quarterback didn't see him. Cordy had already made his break. He had a long way to go. He probably had 40 yards across the field because he had run deep middle and shaded a little to the left. When that pass came up, he had 3/4 of the field across ways to go, but he made a great break. So we saw it coming, and then the longer it held in the air, the more I was worried about the potential collision. And it turned out bad, but luckily they both got up and walked away. But credit to Cordy for making a great play on the ball. He also made a great play on the ball when, unfortunately, D'Estridge got hurt on the first drive for Western Michigan. But that was another, Cordy came out, saw the ball in the air, made the play on the ball. So he played really well
Yeah.
in the absence of Andre Sesko, who's an All-American. But defensively, I'm going to get into a little bit more because I do have some things that I want to say. But we're going to get to the X's and O's and to the hugs and kisses momentarily. But offensively, we had the best day we've had all year.
We have.
We
Yeah.
got to see the offense we thought we were going to see starting at Liberty and all the way through because we had this high expectation because we are impatient and horrible people.
And we've watched a little bit of the clips and the highlights and
Yeah.
things of that nature, but we haven't stop-watched the game yet. Normally we do Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll typically stop-watch the game. So we haven't really done that yet.
Nope.
It didn't see in live action like there was any more and granted we're talking tenths of seconds, but I don't necessarily, the line was given, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6 seconds last game on an average. I don't necessarily think they were giving more time. I think Tommy's just kind of feeling himself, which
Well, I
we
think
all
they
knew
probably
he were.
got word. Like I said, we haven't stop watched it yet.
Right.
If I had to venture a guess in this game, I would say it's upwards of 2.7
Okay.
to 2.8, which is a legitimate
Yeah.
time for
yeah,
a
you
quarterback
want
to
it
make
out.
a throw.
Yeah, you wanted out
But
2.8 and before.
even if the time was shorter, like you just said, it didn't matter. Tommy got his feet underneath him early.
Yeah.
He stood tall. He played confident.
Right.
And it didn't matter. When the rush did break, if there was a blitz that we didn't see coming or somebody breaks containment on the outside, he stepped up in the pocket. He delivered passes he needed to. He played with the cockiness that I expect from this Jersey kid.
Yeah, yeah.
And he really put it forth as this is the guy that we knew was here.
Right, the skill we've known all along, but this was kind of the first game where we were able to see, I'm the starter, this is my team.
My swagger.
My dudes are out here for me, they're fighting for me, I'm fighting for them, let's go get this. He looked good. He looked really good.
Yeah, and I thought the line did a better job in blitz pickups. I thought they did a better job in zone reading their blocks. So I feel like the offensive line coach, and I don't know his name, I'll never remember it, I've seen it all week, did a better job of establishing with the line who is their block in every potential situation. So there wasn't many times, there was still a few, and it's still a work in progress, but there wasn't many times where you saw a double team and a blitz come off of it free. It wasn't like that. These guys were much better in their my area, my block than they were the previous 2 weeks.
And for the first game, we have a little bit, granted this is only week 4. We have a little bit in weeks 1 through 3, but not much. We used our tight end. We used Hackett
Hackett's playing great. He's become a weapon,
Whew.
a legitimate weapon. And that shovel pass touchdown was a great play call and excellently run by both Tommy and Hackett, along with the offensive line, to sell the sweep off to the right, and then Tommy just took it back into his left hand, dished it forward. Hackett took it, and the hole was huge. He could have walked in. So that was a great play call, and I thought the play calling itself, which was another thing I called out last week, I thought the play calling was much better. I thought that we got into more of the rhythm of the offense that we wanted to see.
There was even a couple times that Mo got the ball and was dead to rights, which possibly, last week or the week before might have taken him down because, again, like the confidence just wasn't there yet. And there was the one pass or the one play that he had where he grabbed the ball and 2 or 3 yards into his rush was, again, dead to rights. And he pushed out of it and was gone.
Took off the other way, yeah. Yeah, I saw the replay of that a few times because I saw it live, didn't have the vision from where we were of it. But in the replay, like,
you can't necessarily see how many breaks he has.
And just put on the brakes, turned right, and gained yards. So the confidence,
that's all we needed,
breeds energy.
Right.
And that makes everybody better. When they're feeling down on themselves, and this is in totality of life, football excluded. When you feel down, your production in life is not as good.
Right.
On the football field, when you're doubting yourself and feeling down, your production on the field isn't as good. We needed this game as much for our confidence level as we did for the win-loss record.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right, so let me get back to the defense for just a second.
Okay.
Because I got into a little bit of social media the last couple of days, and I just want to point a few things out to people. One is that this Western Michigan team put up 400 yards of offense against Michigan State just 2 weeks ago. This Western Michigan team 3 years ago was ranked as high as 12th in the country, 16th in the country. They were in the teens.
Right, yeah.
Not that 12 is in the teens, but it is now. Say something. But this is not a slouch team, and just because you look and see that they're in the MAC, and you're like, oh, well, it's just a MAC team.
Right, yeah.
Doesn't mean anything. Tim Lester's a great offensive mind. We know that.
We know that, yeah.
We knew that already. And the quarterback is a tremendous athlete. Because I thought we had 3 sacks. There was about 5 or 6 more times we had him bottled up that I thought,
and
this is a sack.
Right.
And he found a way out. So this team just put up 400 yards against Michigan State. So Michigan State beat them 51-17.
Bellamy runs a 4.2.
Yes.
I mean...
And Eskridge runs a 4.3, 4.2.
Yeah.
Like, they're fast. Michigan State beat them 51-17. We beat them 52-33. You can call it what you want. I don't care. Call it an excuse if you want because that makes you feel better about it. The truth is, our defense was missing our All-American safety.
Right.
Our best cover corner, and a defensive tackle that started for 3 years. You could say they're supposed to just get by it. No, that's not how life works.
Yeah.
So if the New England Patriots tomorrow were missing Tom Brady and Julian Edelman, they're supposed to just get past it. That's not reality.
Right.
So for people on social media,
we were only favored by 4.
Right.
Like, I mean,
so for people on social media to say, "Oh, that's just making excuses," it's not.
No, facts aren't excuses.
Right. A reason that something happened is not an excuse. So
if we said, they all had the flu, okay, maybe you can chalk that up as an excuse.
Right.
Or something of that nature. But when you can give actual, hardcore facts.
Or
like,
say
that's not
we
an
lost
excuse,
because
that's a
the
reason.
refs were horrible.
Yeah, no.
That's an excuse.
Right.
That's not.
Right.
The fact is, we didn't have 3 starters in this game, one of which is an All-American. The other one's our best man-on-man cover corner. Against a team that likes to throw the ball, I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
That makes a difference. But neither here nor there. Those are just things I wanted to get out because people are concerned about our defense. I'm not nearly as concerned. Here's why. when Cisco comes back, when Iffy comes back, when Bear comes back, we've started to establish Mikael Jones as a legitimate third linebacker, and he's learning. He's learning the scheme. He's learning the process. And, you know, Andrew and Lakeem are helping him as best they can. And he's doing
I feel like Lakeem was all over the field.
Lakeem has a motor that does not stop.
I feel like he was everywhere.
Lakeem is everywhere, and he's lightning fast. And without looking it up, I think he had 6 tackles.
I think three were solo, 3 were assists.
Yeah, 3 and 3 or 4 and 2. But Mikael Jones had 6 tackles, 5 solos. Terrell Richards had 6 tackles, 5 solos, I believe. So our linebacking core is starting to round out its depth. Depth is going to make a difference because
Cooley looked good.
Andrew and Lakeem will get burnt out playing the number of plays they're playing right now.
Right, yeah.
So being able to round out that depth and giving a little bit of breather on possibly a quick 3 and out from the offense will make a difference for us defensively. And yes, Cooley, who's just a sophomore from FM. That way. From FM. He played great, and he's played great in a couple of games now. He's gotten some burn and had an interception, had some passes defended. Cooley played really well.
Yeah, Andrew had that great stop on 4th and it was
God.
4th and goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had a goal line stop, and then he had a couple other tackles. He had one on a swing pass that, and the reason that Terrell Richards isn't getting as much time as he should because he's a weak athlete and a talented kid. He's got a few misreads he's still trying to work through. So one of them was on a swing pass early in the game, and Andrew was dropped into his short flat zone, came out of his zone, fought off a block with his left hand, fought off a block from the slot receiver, and made the tackle right there. And it was a really great play from the linebacker, and Terrell Richards was right behind him.
Right.
And going forward, Terrell will get better at those reads, and he won't be there right behind Andrew. Andrew will be there right behind him.
Well, and he kind of fits into the narrative of what I've talked about before, and Lakeem is a perfect example of that. Lakeem last year said, you know, I've got all the athletic ability to do what I need to do. I am, you know, coming up behind, you know, Ryan Guthrie or whatever, and I need to learn on my IQ. And that's what Terrell Richards, again, an incredible athlete, but now he's coming up behind Andrew and behind Lakeem, where now he can up his game with the IQ.
Yep.
And again, like that, when
Learn
we
to read
graduate.
the plays. He was just a step late in his reaction to the swing pass, and that will get better. Mikael Jones' understanding of the defense will get better, and that kid's an athlete. We didn't see much or any Juan Wallace, which surprised me because I do like him as well.
Yeah.
But we will see him going forward. So our linebacker depth is rounding out. Our secondary is fine. If you think otherwise, go rewatch the tape for me. Find plays where it's truly not fine. Because we've done it.
Right.
With almost every game but Liberty. We didn't rewatch Liberty.
Right.
We've rewatched every game, and we will rewatch this one. There just comes a point where without the depth with the injuries we have, that exhaustion sets in.
Yeah.
With the youth
And that's
we
where
have, and
you're
exhaustion.
going to give away your big plays because our
happen.
safeties just can't catch up to the receiver or whatever. But
We know we're on 4th downs all game. First drive of the game for Western Michigan, they went for it on 4th down. And Evan Foster came up, and let me tell you, they ran a double pick on that play. If you get a chance to go rewatch that play on Western Michigan's first drive, their 4th down play in our territory, they run a double pick on Evan Foster, which is illegal.
you can't
You
do
can't
that.
do that. They did it, and it didn't get called, which is fine. Evan Foster fought through both of those, made it to the receiver the same time the ball did, and knocked him out of bounds for probably a 1-yard loss, and that was a turnover, and that was a fantastic play from Evan Foster. So we have the guys in the right places. When everybody gets healthy and everything starts coming together, I like this team. I like this team, and I put a poll on our Facebook page today, and I put my opinion on it. My opinion is that we finish the season at 9-3. I have no idea who we lose to.
Yeah.
But at this point, to ask this team to rattle off 8 straight wins is a lot.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I think we finished 9-3, and somewhere in the teens. We ranked 17, 18 in the country going into the bowl game. And I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah.
I'll take the Music City Bowl in Nashville.
And we will be there.
And we will be there. BG.
We're coming for you.
We'll be in Tennessee. What else we got? Anything, babe?
I think we kind of roundabout. Oh, go and vote for Sterling.
Yes, go vote for Sterling. It's on Twitter, at Cuse Yourself on Twitter.
Yeah.
We shared it. Or at Sterling Hoffrichter. It's really not. I have no idea. Look him up. But yes, go vote for him.
You should be following him anyways.
Right. He's up for the Ray Guy Award again this week.
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito is up, one of the finalists for
I just voted.
whatever the award is there.
Yeah.
Go vote for that one as well. TD's up for an award. Sterling's up for an award. It was a great week.
Right.
It was a great week. And 2 things really quick. One, to the guy who said we shouldn't be celebrating when a punter gets an award, I want you to go to hell.
And you know how you're going to get there? Sterling is going to kick you there.
Sterling's going to kick you there. And to the guy who blocked Cuse Yourself on Twitter this week,
Louise.
you're our first ever block,
I guess now we're somebody.
and you deserved it. So you can go to hell too. So to both of those guys, I said what I said.
Yeah.
That's right.
You don't like it, you make it right.
You don't like it, you make it right. Last but not least, let's talk for just a second
And how cool.
about Tony.
Oh,
about the
stop.
Syracuse water boy getting his all-access pass in the dome, go where he wants, when he wants, on the
I'm so
field,
proud of
carrying the
him.
flag.
I'm so proud of him.
It's, you know what? He's been a mega fan for a long time.
Yeah.
So, Tony, keep doing what you do, buddy. I'm going to do my best to keep up my energy as much as I can. I'm about 6 years older and about 60 pounds heavier, but
He keeps telling you he'll get you there.
he ain't getting me
I know.
nowhere.
And
I'm
then I
not
keep
getting-
serving dinner.
I'm not getting myself to the gym with him. That's why I want to see that meathead carry the flag around the field again. He was exhausted. We saw him Saturday night after the game, like late night. We went and saw him and Kayla at wherever she was singing, and he was exhausted.
All of us were. But yeah, for
He
sure.
was beat. But Tony,
was beat.
shout out to the water boy, man. He's doing
You
it up.
deserve every bit of it, love.
Yep, the unofficial mascot of the Carrier Dome. God bless you. Cheers to you, Tony. So, for both of us here at Cuse Yourself Podcast, as always, bleed orange, go Cuse Yourself. Come on! Wedgeheads! That's right. We're going to get this right now.